Look, every time the United States starts eyeing Canada, it does not go well. And if you need proof, let's talk about the time America almost went to war with our neighbors to the north over a pig. So here's the setup. After the War of 1812, where Canada burned down the White House, starting in the Northeast, treaties divided the US and Canada along obvious lakes and rivers. That is until they hit the Lake of the Woods. They completely got confused, and then they just kind of gave up and just drew a straight line, and then I guess went for a pint. Well, they missed one tiny detail. At the end of the straight line was a cluster of islands in the channel between America and Vancouver. The treaties didn't mention them, creating a weird no man's land. Fast forward to 1859 and enter Lyman Cutler, an American farmer on San Juan Island. He keeps finding a pig in his garden eating his potatoes. Now that pig belonged to Charles Griffin, an Irishman working for the British Hudson Bay Company. And before you make the obvious joke about an Irish pig and potatoes, just know that this is not going to end well. Cutler, fed up, does what any red-blooded American would do in this situation. He shoots the pig. This sparks a chain reaction. Griffin demands compensation. Cutler refuses, arguing that the pig was trespassing, a concept I'm sure the pig fully understood. British authorities threaten to arrest Cutler, and the American settlers call the military for backup. And what follows is a bizarre standoff. The British send 3 warships. The US sends over 400 soldiers under Captain George Pickett. Yes, the infamous Confederate picket from Gettysburg. Both sides dig in, but miraculously, no shots are fired, especially with Pickett there. It's a cold pig war, with soldiers glaring at each other from across the island. Thankfully, cooler heads prevail. British Governor James Douglas from Vancouver declares he won't escalate into war over a squabble about a pig. Instead, they agree to a joint military occupation while diplomats work it out. And what did the soldiers do while waiting? Reportedly, both sides just kind of hung out and drank together. A lot. How very Canadian of them. 12 years of drinking later, in 1872, the dispute is finally settled. Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany is brought in as an arbitrator. Who better to stop a war than the Prussians? And he rules in favor of the US, granting them the control of the San Juan Islands. The British agree to withdraw, and the pig war comes to a close. So why does any of this matter? The pig war is a reminder of how small misunderstandings can escalate and how diplomacy with your neighbors can prevent disaster. Because the only thing that actually divides us are a bunch of arbitrary lines that some dudes just drew on a map.